You could be wiser as an educated advisor. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, retirement facts and stats of the next generation, part one of our series on millennial tax-free retirement, all here on Let's Get Down to Business. Well, welcome everyone to my show called Millennial Tax-Free Retirement. And one of the subtitles I put in here is most, not all, but most millennials should consider leaving ERISA retirement plans. I'm going to tell you why, and if I had to do it all over again as a baby boomer and I was a millennial, I would do what we're going to talk about in this next 5 segments. And think about it, I even share this with my children because they are millennials, and I think this could be the way to go in the future. And remember, everything I'm talking about is completely predicated on the tax code staying somewhat current. Not so much the tax brackets, but the actual code. And I'll talk about that and refer to that every so often. Now, I'm a boomer. I'm a baby boomer, and my brethren, we were born in the 1946 to all the way to 1964. But there's actually 2 different tiers of boomers as it relates to Social Security. So anytime I talk about the baby boomers, I have to kind of figure out, I need to bifurcate. There's 2 age groups here. One of them gets the 132% if you wait till age 70. That would be me. And the other group is going to have a little bit less. So when we're talking about Gen X, Gen Y, millennials, this is a whole new demographic. So as a boomer talking to my millennials, my children, my next generation, I have to say this could be the way to go. So let's just walk through it again. Generation X is called the lost generation. Consider the baby boomers are called the sandwich generation now. We are taking care of our older parents with long-term care and elder care, and we're still paying tuition off on our kids' own college. We haven't been able to really take care of our mortgage yet, so they call us the sandwich generation. We're really serving 2 generations, one younger and one older. But in this generation, Generation X, the lost generation, these are people that were born from 1966 to 1976. So their current ages are going to be somewhere around 40 to 50. And shockingly, and this was a big number for me, there are 71 million different people in the demographic of Generation X. So when you think about Generation X and you look at that 40 to 50, some of the things we're talking about here are not going to be exclusively millennial. And if you're in your early 40s to early 50s, it's still possible to do what we're going to be talking about and make it really work for your retirement. The next one is Generation Y, and the millennials. People born in 1977 to 1994. Their current ages are between 22 and 39. There's about 41 million Gen Y millennials out there right now, and when I'm looking at these numbers are going to get big and really large, and everybody's now, a lot of the consumer tactical and strategic thinking on sales and marketing is moving much more towards this group and this demographic. And I think what we're going to be sharing in these next 5 segments is somewhat revolutionary. We're not making a small adjustment on retirement. We're not making a small, even a course adjustment. We're kind of going towards a revolutionary way to look at retirement, brand new, using current law and current products that are out there right now. Now, when I'm looking at millennials, uncertain of their future needs, right now, 70% of most millennials talk to me and say they don't know what to save for retirement. They don't know how much they should save, and they don't know what they should be into to make that savings grow. 40% of my millennials only have about 10% of their income. They only have saved about 10% total. Actually, it sounds like a regret, but for many of the baby boomers, we didn't even start actually saving till post 40. So people that are putting 10% aside, if they're really doing that, according to the stats, that's actually quite extraordinary. More than 1 of 3 workers today, from 65 all the way down to 20 when you're coming out of college, 1 in 3 workers is a millennial. And most of the millennials are the most underserved market right now because most people believe that they don't have money investable. So I think for financial professionals and advisors, insurance agents, registered investment advisors, I think they're making a big mistake not figuring out how to tap into this market. This 5-segment piece on millennial tax-free income could be the way. It's revolutionary. Even has what I would call some Bernie Sanders thinking in it because it's so off the beating path. Some of the LIMRA funny money stats. 15% of millennials think that winning the lottery is actually a viable retirement strategy. Now, we all chuckle at this, but I have people that regularly purchase serious dollar cost averaging into the lottery, thinking that the odds are that somewhere down the road they're going to cash in on this. Now, to think that some people actually believe this, it's somewhat sad, but think about it. If they're willing to dollar cost average into the lottery, they might as well be playing a little bit more conservatively and look at mutual funds and ETFs and other products. Number two, 11% are hoping for monetary gifts in their later years. Now, I have a gifting program for my children. They're going to receive some money when my wife and I pass. And so I already see these, they're counting on this, spending it today because they're counting on the money tomorrow. So many people are already looking towards gaining other funds, whether it's from charity, whether it's from government, whether it's from family. They're looking to see if they're going to get money from other sources, and they're counting on it. And here's a little statistic about worry, the worry that I have for millennials. When you look at worrying about a retirement, you're going to look at people saving for retirement. They say this is their #1 issue now. It's surprising to me because they're not as consumer and materialistic as the baby boomer, but they're really coming to a place where they're saying, I'm concerned. Two things, that my retirement's probably not going to start till age 70. And when I do retire, I'm going to be retiring, especially female millennials who are in very good health, good diet, good regimen on their workouts. These gals could be into the late 90s, early 100s as a regular rule of thumb. Think about it. The Guinness Book of World Records today is 122 years, 164 days by Jean Clement, a woman that was out of France. But think about this other guy. We just lost old Susanna in May 2016. She died as the last United States tri-centurion, born in 1899, lived throughout the entire 20th century, and died May 2016 at 116. So she was not only a tri-centurion, she was a super centenarian teenager. When you look at these numbers, they're really expensive. You're talking about monthly expenses. #1 issue in retirement. I have essential spending, I have discretionary spending, and I'm wondering, will I have enough retirement to cover those expenses for 30, maybe even 35 years? Astonishing. Credit card debt. You know, every single credit card company seems like they were just bombshelling seniors coming out of college. And since there was really no requirements or no bar to jump over, most of these millennials got free credit and a lot of it, and they just spent it like there was no tomorrow. So right now, credit card debt is a real problem. By the way, a little side note, the biggest debt for most millennials right now is actually tuition. It's over $1.2 trillion in the United States alone, and we're having a hard time securing housing when I have that kind of debt. So that's a real big thing that the boomers, we didn't have that kind of hurdle to jump over. Another one is job security. We have an influx. People are coming to the United States all the time. There's major competition for jobs. Our whole entire economy now is moving from a national economy to a global economy. So people are concerned about their job security long haul. They're thinking about having children. But when they're thinking about having children, they're thinking about, hey, how much is that going to cost? So they're already looking towards the price tag of what education is going to be like and how are they going to afford it. And that is a big issue since they already went through this very same thing of racking up serious money on tuition and college, and especially post-college, MBA, kind of PhD. All that matters, and it's big money. I just talked to several millennials. They're all in six-figure debt for college alone. Unbelievable. They're thinking about their aging parents. Hey, they're thinking about us, the baby boomers. They're wondering, hey, how are we going to take care of mom and dad? Well, at least in my case, I have a long-term care policy. So does my wife. And we are in for the long haul. We don't want us to have our kids stressing about us, but a lot of American boomers are looking for help from their kids. And let me tell you right now, if you're not talking to the female boomer when you're going and talking to married couples, you're going to be making a major mistake. Women are going to be running the show from about 5 years from now for the next 20, 25 years. You need to address the thoughts and the thinking and the desires and the retirement goals of women, because those are the people that are going to be running the show in the long term. And of course, the last, medical expenses. Listen, taxes are the #1 issue in retirement, but right next to it is medical expenses as you get older and, of course, long-term care. This is just an introduction into the millennials and their thinking and what really matters to them. You should be able to take your practice and start dovetailing it towards some of these needs and their desires and the things that they worry about. Don't forget to watch our next segment on qualified plans may reduce your spendable income, part 2 of our series on millennial tax-free retirement. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or compliance officer. And don't forget to subscribe to my consumer show, Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game. Daily content that you can post on your website, social media accounts, and database distribution. I'm Steve Savant. Thanks for watching.